Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's do another entry here. This one yet again based on one of your new suggestions. This one touching upon a cryptid that I just recently talked about. Those of you that have seen my playlist associated with 20 things you didn't know about, I just did a video there dedicated to gnomes. It got a good number of views, good number of comments as well. So if you haven't seen it, check it out when you have a chance. But those of you, again, that are fans associated with gnomes, well, here you have a cryptid that is found in the mountainous regions between France and Switzerland, and it involves being an almost Icelandic type gnome. You'll know more about that here in a minute. This is definitely a gnome that is adapted to the winter wonderlands that are over there. Lots of good info to share. It was interesting to see all of this information associated with this cryptid. Just goes to show again how fascinating the world of cryptids are, even to me, to this very day. But you're looking at a representation of it now, and it goes by the name of Barbegazi. So let's go ahead and let's talk about all the info associated with this mysterious gnome, and then I'll give my own thoughts and opinions on it afterward. So here's what it states. So what is this Barbegazi? Well, again, it's a gnome, so it gives you an idea essentially of how high this creature is. It's basically on the lines of a small humanoid, and it's found there once again between the regions of France and Switzerland, specifically the mountainous regions known as the Alps. And then within those areas, it's specifically in any of those locations that are just frozen networks. So in other words, lots of places of mountaintops and other type of high cliffs and so on that are just 100% pure blizzard type season. That's where you'll find this particular cryptid there. As far as its characteristics, like its physical characteristics, let's talk about that here. For starters, with it being a gnome, again, it's just the size of a small humanoid. There's no specific type height, so there's nothing like in terms of if it's 2 feet or 3 feet and so on. But just imagine somebody being a smaller than average humanoid, probably even smaller than what you would expect, and it has a very distinctive set of features on it. Number one is the fact that it has this hair slash beard that is considered very thick, but it's made thicker because of the colder environment. In fact, the way it's almost built is perfectly adapted to be out there in that winter wonderland type area. Blizzards don't impact it. High volume of wind associated with very cold temperatures, the kind that just slap your face, don't bother it at all. Even having multitudes, like let's say feet of snow, doesn't bother it as well too. Its entire body is just essentially built for that weather. So the hair and beards that grows on it, in fact, grows icicles because of it. But these icicles have no impact when it comes to the Barbegazi. It just simply is another adaptation of its body with the very, very cold temperature. Otherwise, though, if you were to get rid of those icicles, it would just be a long, bushy white beard, and then the rest of its body is also covered in a white fur of sorts, or maybe you could even call it hair as well. The next distinctive thing about it, at least physically, happens to be its very big feet. These feet are abnormally large, much larger than the normal proportions associated with anything humanoid, but it uses this again to adapt to the perfect weather around it, at least perfect for its body. This is because these feet end up acting as skis. How about that? Skis or snowshoes. So it uses these feet to easily traverse all this winter snow that's surrounding it. And in fact, what would normally cause a human to essentially be caught and be stuck in this snow, to this Barbegazi, it's nothing more than just a regular walk. So it uses those giant feet as a way to travel unhindered between all those mountaintops, and then it also uses those feet as well to escape things. So whenever something happens, and let's say there's something along the lines of a avalanche, and let's say it gets buried, or it in turn needs to bury itself, it uses those feet to be able to get in and out as quickly as possible. And on top of that, it can use its hands to be able to dig in or dig out very, very quickly too. Again, very perfect creature or cryptid that's associated for those type of regions. In fact, its name, Barbegazi, means somewhere in the lines of frozen beers. That's what it translates to give you an idea of essentially what it does in that type of weather. And then as far as its interactions with people, and so what some people have seen it do as well, it mainly comes out during the winter slash blizzard seasons. I don't know what essentially happens the rest of the time, although it gives you an idea of the fact that there's theories about there being these networks of caves and tunnels right by these mountaintops that are all related to this Barbegazi. Gives you an idea of how perfectly suited it is to hide throughout most of the year. Who's going to be up there anyways, right? You would have to be basically up there traveling on your own in a dangerous area in order to even try to get a hint of where these Barbegazi could be otherwise within the mountaintop. But if you take that risk, then obviously you're creating a dangerous situation for yourself. But for them, traveling these tunnels and so on, it's just second nature to them. So for them, that's essentially where they hide during that time period. In fact, you could even say that they hibernate during the rest of the year, but otherwise, during the winter and blizzard seasons, it's out. It's basically there enjoying the area. In fact, people have stated that they enjoy riding avalanches. How about that? Imagine seeing something like this just amazingly going through an avalanche and basically just riding it down all the way and then safely just walking away afterwards. If you see anything along those lines and it obviously looks smaller than your average human, then there's a good chance that you're looking at the Barbegazi. But on top of that, this creature also has a nice nature towards humans. Not necessarily that it's going out of its way to treat humans in a nice way, but it's not going to stand by either and have any damage because to them. And what I mean is this, those same avalanches that it enjoys riding and so on, this creature also knows that those are very dangerous to humans. So whenever there's something along the lines of, let's say, an avalanche about to happen, like maybe it has that preternatural sense and it knows that something could happen soon and it sees some humans nearby, it apparently tries to warn humans by creating these whistling noises, and they sound like what's quoted as an eerie hooting noise that could also be mistaken for gusts of wind. So when you hear something along those lines and you're out there in the Alps or other mountaintops, then those are the warnings from the Barbegazi to anyone out there that, hey, watch out, there could be an avalanche coming very, very soon. And they take it to another level as well. So let's say the avalanche occurs and it does end up trapping people underneath who knows how many feet of snow. Well, they've been known to go out there and then immediately try to get people out. So they use their expert abilities to dig and their large feet and their hands as well to immediately take these guests out, whoever these people are, from their dangerous and almost deadly situations. And that shows that what kind of attitude they have towards humans, where it's beneficial in the sense that they'll act when they need to, but otherwise they'll just stay pretty much out of the way of anyone that is within their vicinity, or they may just go hide afterwards if anyone tries to follow them and something else along those lines. But that's pretty much it. That's all the information associated with this very unique gnome, this Barbegazi, this winter gnome of sorts. If anyone has any more info, anything else I might have missed, then please post those comments below. What about those of you that have gone there skiing in those mountainous regions? Let me know if you've had a chance of maybe seeing something that looks something like this and you were scratching your head and wondering what it was. If that was the case, let me know. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care.